Alright, hey, so it's the FlameCon 2019 vlog. Why does the sign feel farther than it usually is? Anyway, so, yeah, so this year, they got badges, guys. It's like an official con. Like, what the fuck? Oh, it was like, oh, 2019, woo. Oh, God. No, don't look at my face. Come on. And then you could see, God, if I just dunk my head. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so this year, they made official. And they got badges and all that stuff, so it's not just the wristbands. I saw a few wristbands on people, but I think that's just for, like one-day passes and stuff, as my hair is doing that weird thing it tends to do. Yeah, so this year is a bit different, slightly frustrating, but a learning experience. So, this year, I'm just, long story short, they started off with random new rules out of nowhere. They started off with, like, a crazy price hike and all that shit. And obviously a lot of people were like, yo, like, what the fuck? We get it, you're a non-profit, but, like, come on, man, So then they, were like, whoops, our bad, and then they realized, like, okay, we're going to do a lottery. So usually it's like kind of first come, first serve. So, once they're like, hey guys, tables are available, I'm like, got it. Text Masami, all right, cool, you owe me this much, cool, book the hotel, we're good, yeah. But this time was a lottery. They have to see, obviously if you've been here before, if your work, I don't know if they see if your work, like, is LGBT, I don't know, because I do, like, horror shit, but I guess because I'm a queer artist, so maybe, I don't know. I don't know what, like, the shit entails. But, they made sure to have, like, a percentage of new people and then a percentage of returning people, obviously being a returning person, because this is the 5th year of FlameCon, my 4th year being there, and then 3rd year doing a table. Okay. Took me a second to realize, like, how to math. Bad Asian. I have a math award, too. Anyway, so there was that, and we didn't get our normal, like, premium tables. This year they were called publishers. I don't know. Oddly enough, I didn't see that as a choice to choose those tables, but even though I didn't see that choice, we got, like, the regular Artist Alley tables. It's, price-wise, we wouldn't have been able to afford it, because it jumped, like, 100%, unlike it was last year. So, because everyone that we knew who saw our table, they're like, oh my god, you guys were, like, over there, like, what, blah, blah, blah. You don't get to choose where your table is, which is why, for a while, I picked the premium publisher whatever table, because you knew you'd have, like, you knew you got the good brownie edge pieces, Anyway, so we were in, like, that kind of stagey area, I call it, because you have to go up a couple steps, and we weren't, like, in the thick of it. We were, like, right outside of it, so you saw a lot of traffic, and you kind of, like, wave people down. But the downside is that we were stuck between these huge-ass fuck-off pillars, and a lot of times, like, with the table, I had to, do a lot of this to be like, is there anyone there? And then Masami and I would just be weird and randomly wave to people, and they're like, okay, I guess I'll stop at this table. These weird Asians are just waving at me, The bright side of the fuck-off pillars was that we had, like, some extra wiggle room on both sides of our table, unlike the people in, like, I guess you would say the main part of it, where you're just like, table, get table, fuck, that kind of stuff. Like, one of my buddies, him and his wife, had a table, and they said they had to, like, to go, like, they were literally, like, middle, and they would have to go, like, under their table, and I'm like, oh, no. But yeah, so, and it would just be, like, really stuffy anyway, just because there's 3 of us, because I always have Paul with me. But anywho, so there was that. I debuted my lovely warrior Mulan costume. That was fun. Got a lot of, really positive reactions to it. There was a lot of people who'd just be like, oh my god, wait, are you Mulan? And I was like, yes, I am. And then, of course, the hilarious irony is that I had to spray this green hair. Well, there's a lot of roots showing, but whatever excess green hair that was showing, like, all that, I had to spray it black and then put this fake, like, bun on. So a lot of people, they were just like, oh my god, Jesus. They were like, they were like, oh, green, no green hair, you know? And I'm like, because I'm known for my green, even though it's like, you know, like dying grass right now. That's the color of it. But, yeah, it's just kind of like the irony of whenever I do a short hair character that requires black hair. It's like, it's me, but hold on, you know, like at the end of the day, we were like, okay, well, let's like, you know, decompress and let's go for dinner. And I was like, I'm washing this shit out of my hair. I was like, no, get in the green back, get in my life force back, you know. And then I also had Paul dress as Candyman on Saturday as well. Tons of positive reactions to it. From what we've learned with Monsterpalooza and then in this con, it does seem like not a lot of people dress as Candyman, so that's a good thing, you know. So hopefully one of these days we'll meet Tony Todd, because that was the whole point of doing it for Monsterpalooza. It's like he was there the last couple of years, and the year we do it, it's like, yeah, guys, I'm not here, and I'm like, but Tony Todd, please. Anyway, yeah. And again, so with the placement of our tables, like to get kind of real, we didn't make as much sales as we did the previous years. Again, mainly just where we were, and a lot of people ended up walking past us and didn't even see us, kind of shit. Also, again, because we were between the two pillars and like the lighting was really shitty. Like we were in like the main spot and we had, I guess, all the available lighting. It was still kind of pretty shitty lighting, but people saw everything, you know, they saw us, they saw all our stuff. This year, I didn't sell any prints, like, whatsoever, because we went from, like, a 8-foot table to a 6-foot table. I had to, decrease the size of my display, which is, like, whatever, that meant, like, just bringing less prints, one, you know, print display rather than two, it's fine, you know, I still had the same amount of, like, you know, accessory tchotchkes, fetuses, you know, that I normally would. But it was just the prints I reduced, which is fine because I pretty much brought all the more popular prints people bought anyway. So again, not that much stuff to carry, so, you know, even though I still had multiple bags, but that's just me, I can never pack light, even though I pack light. But the downside was that, you know, there was barely any lighting where we were, and then it was just like, you know, my artwork is, you know, thematically and visually dark, and then you put it in a dimly lit area, you don't see shit, you know? It's like, yeah, if it had lighting, like, you can see it. Like, let's say I'm the artwork, but then, like, this was the lighting. You're like, you're not really gonna, you know, see much, or gonna be like, what is that, you know? And I feel like that's really one of the downsides of the Sheraton locations, that it does have pretty shitty lighting, you know? And it's not even just like the joke that a lot of us say that has very homophobic lighting, but it just has very shitty lighting, because the Brooklyn location had amazing lighting. Like, I think it's mainly because the Brooklyn one also, the ballroom, like, the ceiling was lower, so, like, you know, the light didn't have that far to travel. You know, it was great lighting and all that shit. But here, it's just, even during setup on Saturday morning, one of the volunteers was like, you know, hey guys, this is the lighting you guys are getting, you know? And I'm just like, which brings to me that I wish with this convention, you were allotted, or allowed, or whatever, to set up the night before. Like, yes, have the Saturday morning set up, because, you know, people's schedules are different, but I, like, just on my own selfish, you know, thing, I would like if we were able to set up Friday evening, just because, like, in previous cons, where you set up, like, the day before, you get the setup day before, and then, of course, day up kind of shit, you get to kind of, like, feel, like, where you are, especially, you know, like, at a con like this, where you can't choose where you are, and you don't know where you'll be every time, so, you know, you kind of have to adjust to it. So we get there, we're like, okay, here we are, and then, you know, in a dimly lit spot, if, you know, we were able to do this, like, the night before, we could have, like, I don't know, ran over to, like, Home Depot or Bed Bath & Beyond or something to get some lights, because there was some, you know, there were some outlets near our table, even though we didn't pay for electricity, I'm just saying, and it's kind of, like, fucked up, to be like, hey, you have to pay for electricity for our inadequate lighting, you know, just to be that person, you know. Again, I very much like FlameCon, you know, it's great, you know, it's great for like the young, you know, queer kids and all that stuff, us older, I guess, well, not really, I don't want to say middle age, because I'm not middle age, I got 10 years before that, but, you know, like us old, like, I guess slightly older, you know, queers, and then the much older, you know, queers that go to it. But yeah, it's just little things like that, you know, because like other cons, like I remember the zombie con, I was like, shit, I'm not used to this, you know, all this space, okay. So then like there was like a Walmart nearby, and we were just like, oh, let's grab some lights, and oh, there was a plug here, even though we pay for electricity, who cares? You know, like, I don't know, something. And it was like on the Sunday, I remember there was like a light facing, like, it was just shining onto a wall. I was like, you know what? I should have just got on a chair and just turned the fucking thing. Because it was really, really bad. And again, because it was so dark, no one saw, like, you know, my print displays. Again, even though people like bought stuff from me, and I did make, you know, like an average amount of what I would make at this convention compared to other ones where it's just like, hey, you just made $20 and was freaking, you know, assaulted for, you know, 2 to 3 days straight. Awesome, you know. Whereas here, it's like, cool, people are nice to me, and that doesn't happen often. But yeah, again, learning experience from this con and all that stuff. Again, we would definitely do it again, you know. We're just, you know, just a different setup, mainly on my part, because Masami, you know, she just has, like, a bag. I'm like, I've got 7 bags. Like, why? Again, this year was a little bit frustrating, but it was a learning experience. And again, as I said, we're definitely going to do it again next year, because it is a fun con. And Masami and I are looking to do other cons, you know, because again, I've mainly been like the test driver, or like, you know, guinea pig of going to a lot of cons. There's definitely a lot of cons. It's like, hell no, not doing a table there again. We're definitely, you know, staying within the states. You know, I'm like the overachiever. I'm like, ooh, I saw a couple of, you know, conventions in London, and Masami's like, can we just stick to the U.S. for like a hot minute, girl? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. You know, we're looking at a lot of things, obviously, on the East Coast and the West Coast, because we can all just, like, fly, you know, all that stuff. Just do domestic flying, just because I can't imagine. First of all, I don't know how I'm gonna fly with fetuses, so there's that. That's good. I hope I can put that on carry-on, because I would be scared to put that on a check-in. Just, like, get out, it's like, you know, and then it just... TSA opens my bags like way too damn often, and I'm like, come on, man. There's some cons that are, you know, since it is like fall is coming up, so there's a bunch of other cons that both of us on either side, you know, of the US are gonna try to like attend at least a day or something, just to kind of scope it out, just so we can do this a little bit more, just, you know, to help us make money and all that shit. Yeah, especially me, as someone who still doesn't have a job yet, because somehow no one's hiring someone with mad skills, but apparently 0 experience. But anyway, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/spazzoutloud, if you want to just, you know, for $1 a month, you can see the costumes and artwork stuff that I'm working on before I post it anywhere else on social media, because I usually just don't post any work in progress anymore. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say, because, yeah, again, FlameCon was fun. They got badges this time. Badges! They got badges this time. Oh, they had the breakfast, and I would like if they had, like, a catered breakfast, rather than, like, hey, we bought boxes of muffins, and we had croissants, and they were baking them, and then they closed the window on me, so I couldn't get a croissant, and I'm like, okay, and then Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I'm just saying, I've worked for a non-profit before. You can cater. You can actually cater something good, instead of being like, yo, I just dropped off, went to Costco and got boxes of mini muffins. I'm just saying. You know, that's my FlameCon vlog, whatever any of that made any sense, but see ya.